Okay, folks, here we are for Monday night 9-ball Scotch doubles, and we've got a decent turnout considering it's a doubles tournament. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in. It's a handicap tournament, race to 7, loser side race to 5, and the tournament should be just about underway. And the brackets are just drawn. Now, just to explain my dress, it's actually been quite warm and humid here today, so that's why the top's off. I'm just wondering whether my background will disappear even more with that white skin. Right, so let's see the bracket. Oops, that's maybe what's wrong. Get the light on. Right, we have Wink at Me and Tommy U, who are playing Popman and Bedhead. We've got G Money and WizKid, they've got a bye, and Frankie, I don't know what his full name is, but Frankie and VP Monster, I've got a bye, and Larry and Z Karaoke, I've got a bye. So Larry and Z Karaoke are going to be the favourites, but remember, with the handicap system, it's not going to be quite as easy. So there's a match to be played in the second round that will get underway fairly shortly with Larry and Z Karaoke and Frank. Is it Frankel? Maybe it's Frankel against VP Monster and his partner. But we're going to watch this first round match between Wink at Me, Tommy U, Popman and Bedhead, and that should be up and running. Well, it should be. We've got Wink at Me. Now, if we remember, Tommy U, I think last week's tournament, he strung his partner out to dry because he was a no-show. And he's certainly here now because I can see that he's in game. And we've got 3 players in game. Let's see who they are. Bedhead, Wink at Me and Tommy U. So, who the hell is it we're waiting on again? Popman. Now, where's Popman? Well, he's sitting in the lobby. And I think he's gone in the game now. So now we can join the room. They'll probably be lagging off. And Popman and Bedhead have won the lag, and they're going to be breaking off now. Straight away we can see that we are playing a scratch match here. There's no handicap in the race to 7. And again, just to remind anybody who's not watched Scotch doubles, in fact the World Cup of Pool was on last week and it finished last night and Austria won it. That was a 9-ball Scotch doubles tournament. You've got two against 2. One player on the team plays a shot, then the next, his partner plays the next shot, and so on. So there's a big pressure on you to play well and do well for your partner and get him on the next ball. Now, I've got one thing to do. Just give me a sec. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Right, we're back. Now, I just need to get my little plug in. And we can carry on and get rid of that. Check my little doodle's working. Yeah, it's working fine. So, Bedhead gets his partner Potman on the 6 ball. Again, the most important thing, little roll through, but leave that angle. So he should finish above the 7 as we're looking. And that can get him up in between the 8 and the 9. Well, being too deliberate there, taking too long, and he overcut the 6, so Tommy Hughes in. And maybe a chance they didn't think they were going to get. Now that's an angle, but it actually needed to be a bit a higher angle to make it more comfortable to get up to that 8 and 9. He's got to try and land in between them. It's still going to take a good shot to get there. And he's judged the pace well. And that's pretty good. So Tommy Yu and Wink at Me are going to get off and running when maybe they really shouldn't been. And when they're breaking as well, the player in the team can choose whether he's going to break or whether he's going to pass to his partner. You might see the odd one of them. So we've lost the 4 and the 8 ball in the break. Shot in the 2, the 1. And that's coming up nice again. A nice little angle here. I don't know whether he can actually slide past the 3 without hitting it. If he plays it plain ball, he might hit into it. Maybe knock it safe. You never know. Well, he's nudged it, and that's exactly what he's done. That's why. I mean, the angle was there, but you had to put a bit of bottom on that to try and make the cue ball do something and take it away from the 3. And perhaps he didn't see that it was going to go in, or perhaps he thought that it was going to hit the 3, but maybe he just thought he'd ride his luck. And you can never do that in this game. You've got to make the shot. You've got to make the position. So now we're going to get a bit of tip tapping. And the stream quality at the moment is green, which is good. And somebody's got to be brave enough and make a move here. That cue ball's too close to the 3 to actually do anything. There has to be a little gap to try and get some distance between the cue ball and the 3. Well, we could be here for 20 minutes doing this. So eventually Tommy Hughes took a risk, and that's not bad. That's a fairly good safety. You can see an edge, but probably try and just bank this softly between the 6 and the 5. And again, that's a nice touch as well. So now Wink at Me has no problem hitting the 3. His only problem is he just doesn't know where it's going to finish. And the chances are that 6 ball's going to take the pace off the 3, and the 3's going to stay at this bottom end of the table here with the 5 and the 7. Well, he's hit it full, but it is a chance to pot that 3, just run through a little bit and leave Potman on the 5. Now, the only thing here is he's dead straight, so he's going to have to try and squeeze something here. He can draw straight back, or he can try and force a little angle. He looks to be playing top. No, he's now playing bottom. And that's gone wrong. He should have tried to steal a little angle there maybe, because he's actually drawn that wrong to finish that angle in the 6. And that's not a good effort by Bedhead. And Tommy, you and Wink at Me could be snatching another rack here. Well, I can pot the 7, not a problem. Cue ball can go that way and finish somewhere like that in the 9. All about pace. That's not bad. Should be happy with that. So it has to be said that Potman and Bedhead have had their chances, and they've done their best to give away these 2 racks here. That's a good break. And there is a semblance of a shot in the 1 here, and the 2 goes past the 9. So he's got to go off the 1 up the table. If you try and play this a dead weight to cut the 1, he's got less chance of holding for the 2. Maybe have to go up and down the table, back into the middle of the table. Could go that way and then up there and back up. Well, that was a delicate shot to cut the 1. He's actually got on the 2, I think. Oh, it looks like it, but he's overcut the 1. Potman's got the same problem here with this 1 ball. Got to obviously pot the 1, but it's all about controlling the pace. He's decided against it. Try to get a decent safety, and that will do. But once again, not a difficult shot to hit. Wink at Me ideally wants to hit this full behind. Try and use the 7 ball to snook it. Well, it's finished in between here. It's a good bank shot, this one. And again, when you're thinking about the 2 ball, the problem is the 5 and 6 are sort of in the way. The cue ball could run into them, or it could miss them and come out behind them. Let's hit the 5, and that's fine. That's a little bit of luck you need, but still got work to do here. And Potman can just run in the 2 ball and try and get the cue ball to more or less where the 2 is at the moment, or just go through a little bit, unless he wants to try and be a wee bit more elaborate and run the cue ball around while he's leaving it long. Now, what's the angle like though? And there is an angle there, so Bedhead can pot the 5. He can actually draw out into the middle of the table, I think, with the slight angle he's got. Probably finish about here, or a shot in the 6. Well, he's at the end of the arrow. Potman played that with inside English to check it off the bottom rail and push it back towards the left rail as we look, and give an ideal position in the 7. But they need to get this rack on the board. And I think Popman's a bit straight in this 8. Yeah, he's thrown another rack away here, I'm afraid. Got on the 9. But the spin has pushed the 8 ball to the jaw and it's just left it hanging. And Popman and Bedhead are not going to last long in tonight's tourney if they keep playing like that. And that's really 3 racks. It's going to be 3-0 to Wink at Me and Tommy U, and it could very, very easily be 3-0 the other way. So Tommy U breaking off in rack number 4. And they're under no pressure at the moment. They just have to be patient and wait on the mistake from their opponents. That's really what's happening. Well, we've got the 8 and the 9 tied up together, so there's some manoeuvring to be done in this rack. How does that look? Well, it's a delicate little touch in the 2, but it does go just enough to drop in and hold the 2 for the long 3 into the top right hand corner. Just needs to feather the edge of this 2 and it will drop in. Well, he's gone a bit too heavy again. And Popman needs a bit more of a delicate touch, I think. You could have easily feathered that in and held for the 3. But again, I put it down to the mouse settings. If you're not fully dialed in your mouse, then you don't have the confidence to play those little delicate shots where a delicate shot was needed there. And that's leaving his partner to try and dig them out a hole by playing a difficult cut in the 3. Well, Wink at Me's just made it onto the 4. Now, of course, the problem here is, in order to win the rack, they've got to get that 8 and the 9 on the move and nudge something out of the way. Well, it might be Popman and Bedhead that'll have that problem. And it's easy to split the 8 and 9 because whoever gets to the 7, the 7 ball, if they play it from that side, they've got the angle to go into the 9. If they play it that side, they've got an angle to get into the 8. And either way, they just need a little nudge and a little break of the ball to be able to run the table. Well, that's almost a disaster there. And straight away, we've got the same scenario. We've got Popman and Bedhead at the table doing their best to throw another rack away here, because the angle that Popman's got isn't going to hold for the 7. He's going to have to try and run into the 9 and 8 and try and get a bit of luck again here. He needs to dig down in the cue ball though, and he's doing that now. So he's hit the 7, and now his partner has got pretty much no shot to try and split this 8 and 9. We can go all out for this 7 ball in the bottom left hand corner as we're looking, but he's just got no shot on the 8. He looks as if he's taking it into the bottom right. Well, he's trying to play a safe. Well, they might find themselves in a bit of trouble in a second or two here if Wink at Me can just judge the pace on this 7. And, well, he needed to get it a bit tighter than that, I think, but I think Potman will think he can actually jump this 8 ball to get to the 7. There's still no use of the pot, the 7. They just cannot get to split that 8 and 9. Now, if they play a conventional safety off this 8 ball, they would feather the edge of the 8 into the cue ball down here, and the 9 ball would act as a stopper. But now, well, Wink at Me's got absolutely no shot. And if I was him, I would actually play a deliberate foul here and give them ball in hand, because it's going to force Bedhead and Potman to get the 8 and the 9 in. And again, it looks easy, ball in hand. He's now going to split them. And, well, there's no real shot here for Bedhead. The pressure's on though. 3-0 down. Gonna have to try and sink this one way or another. Got to play the bank. Was he playing the cut? He's played the bank. Cue ball's tracking. Where's it going? And more importantly, can Potman sink this 9? Looks a simple enough roll into the middle pocket, but he really needs to get this. And again, your natural instinct when you get to the table in a shot like this should allow you to take the shot fairly quickly and not spend a lot of time looking at it. But in it goes, and they're off the mark. How's it luck in the break? Well, the 5 ball's going into the top left, and they've got a shot in the 1. And as we've seen many times before, this table now is wide open and no excuse. It's all about just getting on the next ball. This really should be a run out. There's no obstacles, there's nothing blocking anything. It's just about getting on the ball. Got to get high on this 6 ball off the 4, whatever they do. Got to be playing the 6 from here or here at worst. It'd be something silly if he pots this 4 and tries to come over behind the 6, because that's then, if he doesn't get the right angle on it, it's going to force him to start running the cue ball to get on this 7. So let's see what Bedhead sees. He's played the draw, got the cue ball into the middle of the table more or less, and given Potman every chance just to drop the 6 in, come off that side rail beyond the 9 and leave his partner on the 7. And he should be taking the 8 ball into the same pocket as the 7. Oh dear. Well, I think Potman's on the beer again this week, because he's made some glaring mistakes that have lost this team racks here, and that's another one. And it is not looking good for these guys. They're throwing away racks left, right and centre. And it's going to be 4-1, provided Wink at Me can pot the 7 and get the cue ball out into the middle of the table again. 8 ball into the same pocket, and then a little roll in 9. So it shouldn't be a problem. And Potman needs to give himself a good shake here. Get a coffee into him instead of beer, because you're really letting your partner down, my friend. So Tommy, you and Wink at Me now lead by 4 racks to 1. Tommy, you breaks in rack number 6. And the cue ball's flown into the pocket. And once again, Bedhead and Potman have got the table at their mercy. And I would say their chances of running out here are even less with the lay of the balls here than what it was in the last rack. And I would say it's probably 70-30 against them actually being able to run this table. Bedhead can't make his mind up where he wants to play this 1 ball. And he's struggling already to find a way to pot the 1 and actually get his partner on the 2. You try and stun across into the 6 maybe? No, trying to play in behind the 2. If Potman gets this right, he should pot the 2 and the cue ball hit the 6. And they should still be having a shot in the 3. The 6 should block the path. Well, that's another disastrous choice by Potman. He's tried to play a safe. He's let the cue ball scratch. And now it's ball in hand to Wink at Me. Well, everything Potman does so far tonight is all going wrong. And a nice little angle in the 4. Of course, I'm forgetting the 3's at the bottom of the table. Wink at Me snookered his partner. So Tommy U's going to have to dig the jump cue out. There still might be a chance here for Potman and Bedhead. Even if they get it, are they going to be able to take it? Well, I think Bedhead's going to maybe be hampered by that 4. Queuing over the 4. Very difficult shot in the 3. Got the 3. Didn't get into cue ball enough. So again, Potman attempting to play a safe here. Now he could play the way he's aiming with a bit of right English, so that when the cue ball hits that top rail it checks up, and try and kill the pace in the cue ball to hold it behind the 7 and the 9. Well, he's managed to do it, but again, as we know in VP4, if you have a jump cue and you're good enough with it, you'll jump over that 7 ball no problem and be looking to edge the 4 into the right middle. Well, that's a great shot. Played it long. Has left the cue ball a bit awkward, but it's still a shot in the 5. The 5's got a pocket. That's all that matters. Can Tommy you follow through here and sink the 5? He doesn't want to thump this in. Cue ball's coming across nice for the 6. Now the problems start because the 7 doesn't have a pocket. And he's got the wrong angle on the 6. So got to get this cue ball running. And that needs to keep going if we're going to try the combo. Needs to try and get that as straight as he can. Well, it's not perfect, but it's not too bad. The problem is, can Tommy Yu get to the angle on the 7 that he needs to try and make the combo? Might be touch and go. I think he can do it. And then again, the more I look at it, the more I'm thinking maybe not. No, he's got it. And in goes the 7 as well. So, wink at me, a delicate little cut. Shouldn't be any problem though. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear, well, there is maybe a change of fortune. Cue ball tracks straight into the pocket. And a gift for Bedhead and Potman. Well, that might turn this match, provided Potman can get his act together. That might be just a break that they need to maybe fire them up. Right, now something went into the top right. It was a 2-ball. Bedhead has a shot in the 1. Now can he get this cue ball into the middle of the table again? And leave Potman on the 3. 4 goes past the 8, no problem. Overcutting the 1, but it's going to go safe. Now, who's going to be brave enough and try and get the cue ball in behind the 3 and the 6? Certainly up around the 7 ball at least. Potman's played the bank. Wasn't playing to pot it, it wouldn't go, but it's relatively safe. But there is a chance now for Wink at Me to try and bank the 1 back up the table and get the cue ball over to the right. No, refuses that. And Bedhead might be able to make this combo. And he refuses it as well. There should be a snooker this time. Where's the cue ball going? Another scratch. Well, here we go. Potman has ball in hand. Unless he plays the 1-3 combo. Now the danger, of course, with the 1-3 combo is where the 1 ball's going to go. And to make the potting angle, the 1 ball's going to head towards the 7. And he's probably going to leave his partner no shot in the 1. And he might have been better taking the 1 ball long and cueing over the 3. It'd be a difficult shot, but you've got to think of where the path of the one's going. And he's missed the 3 and he's left the 1 on. And again, another very poor effort by Potman. He's definitely the weakest link in this team and has generally been the cause of their problems. So the 4 and the 8 are left as a combo. Now can Tommy Yu control this cue ball? Well, he's bouncing off the rail as long as he gets away from the 5. And that's pretty good. Wink at Me should get this combo 9 out of 10. Just got to ride his luck with where the 4 ball's going to finish. Well, he's missed it. That's the one time out of 10 he did miss it. So it's swings and roundabouts here. Again, Bedhead and Potman have a chance. They all pot. The only awkward ball is the 6. And that angle that Potman's been left there by Bedhead is not a good angle. And Potman really should be trying to pot the 5. Cue ball off there, and down here to leave Bedhead the long 6 up the rail. Oh dear. Well, he stunned that into the pocket. He should have run it with left hand English. And now it's another pretty easy opportunity for Tommy Yu and Wink at Me just to run this rack out. Perfect on the 7. Just punch that cue ball off the side rail. Now that might be not so good. There is an angle. Needs to watch the scratch in the middle pocket if he's going to run across here. And he's played it soft. And he's going to leave his partner a delicate one into the middle or the long one down the rail. The delicate one in the middle looks pretty easy. Off the jaw, and it's 5-2. So Wink at Me breaks off, rack number 8, and no joy. A very, very thin cut on this one. Could play the bank. Just what we got up here, we've got the 3 and the 6 hanging over the pocket. It's a fair bet he could bank the 1 up onto the 3 and the 6, and that's going to go. The 1's gone safe though. Potman needs to get a couple of good shots in this, what's left of this match, to maybe give his partner a wee bit more confidence. But once again, a poor safety. 1 ball wide open. Tommy Yu's going to have to either run through and get around the corner or dig down and draw that cue ball back. With the 2 ball on the left hand side. He's went round the corner. How's the pace? As long as it nudges the 9, they're okay. 3 ball hanging over the top right hand corner pocket, so it doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball, just needs to stop it. And now perfect little angle. Cue ball rounding out for the 4. And this is a little stun. A little stun draw shot brings the cue ball up here. He's run off the rail, but he's got to the end of the arrow more or less. And is that straight? Yeah, that's pretty dead straight. And that's been left a little awkward again for Wink at Me. Well, this cue ball is What's he doing? He's going to be running up towards that 9, I think. If he can come off the left-hand rail when he hits that, I think that's about as good as he could do without forcing too much. And it's all too easy here for Tommy U and Wink at Me. They've been, as I said earlier, there've been absolutely no pressure on them at all. And that was a result come in there. Frankel and VP Monster playing Larry and Z Karaoke. And Frankel and VP Monster have won that match 7-3. Let's have a look at the bracket and see what handicap they were getting. Frankel and VP Monster were getting the 8 ball. Or was it the 6 ball? No, they were getting the 8 ball. So that's a good result. And Larry and Z Karaoke are in the one loss side, so they're going to have to work hard if they're going to progress in the tournament, because the chances are when they play their next match they'll be given another handicap away. Meanwhile, Wink at Me is hooked behind the 2 and the 9. A very tight jump. He's managed to do it. And the 1 ball still goes, and look at this 2-9, dead set. There's no way they can miss this 2-9, surely. The only thing Popman's going to do here is actually not get his partner a shot in the 2. And he doesn't want to run off this. He could scratch off this 4 when he pots this 1. I don't like the shot he looks to be playing here. Very dangerous. Well, he's drawn back eventually. No, again made a total hash of it. And oh dear, this match should be over. Just a little pop in the 1. Not let the cue ball run too far. Just between the 6 and the 3. And I've got a glaring 2-9 here. And that's fine. That's got to go, that 9. There's no way this 9 cannot go in. It's dead set. It's nice pace. And the match is over. Well, the evidence is all there. Popman really struggling. As I said, he's probably on the beers and has had one too many again this week, because it certainly doesn't help his game. So we will just get this refresh thing set to 30, and Larry and Z-Kenra, is this bracket going to update? Well, it has updated, because Wink at Me and Tommy U are now going to play G Money and WizKid. So that match is underway, or about to be underway, and that'll be, what's the handicap? G Money and WizKid are getting the 5 ball. And there's still somebody stuck in that room up there, I think. And is the bracket finally updated? Yes, it has. So we've got Popman and Bedhead playing Larry and Z Karaoke. We're going to have to go in and watch that match, because I'm pretty certain that although they're going to be playing Scratch, are they? I don't know. We'll see what happens when they all join the room. Larry's 2,300, and I think Z Karaoke's about 2,100 rated. So they're bound to be given a handicap here. I'm just waiting on one of the players arriving. I'll get a drink in the meantime. So we've had the lag. All the teams are in. Potman and Bedhead, who are team 1, are getting the 7 ball as their extra money ball, and they have really got to use this. And remember, we're on the 1 loss side, so we're just on a race to 5 here. And Larry and Z Karaoke are the strong favourites. And Bedhead's going to try and hit the 1, but what he's going to do as well as if he hits this at pace, he's going to open balls up here. Well, he's managed to get it full, and that's pretty good. Let's see what that looks like. Well, Z Karaoke's going to cut that 1 in. The fact that that 7 is obscuring the 1 is actually a good guide to show Z Karaoke the edge. He's actually potted the 2 as well, and lo and behold, Larry's got a shot in the 3. We're going to need a good shot from Larry here, and he can get a path. The problem is though that he's going to try and avoid the 9. If he gets it that way and gets down there, he's got to get to the bottom rail. He's got to miss everything, and that was always the problem. And Z Karaoke has no shot in the 4. Just going to try and nudge it out the way and get lucky. That's really all you can do. Oh, the 8 ball's going to go in. Well, that's a bit of luck you need. Well, if you play it the simple way, the cue ball goes there and there to leave Larry a shot in the 6 down here. Now, he's played that a lot stronger than maybe he wanted to, but it's still the same situation. Larry's on the 6. He can just nudge the 6 in. He can either stun up and leave the 7 into the middle. You can go that way and leave the 7 in there, or you can go and just leave the 7 in there. So he has 2 choices. He's gone a bit too far from the line, so Z Karaoke's going to have to pull a shot out here. Can pot the 7, of course, and draw off it. Doesn't want to get too much juice into this though, to try and hold the 9 into the same pocket. Well, he's went for a bank. Oh dear, well, he's got it. One way or another, he's got it. And Larry and Z Karaoke off and running. Well, nothing doing. Potman does have a shot in the 1, but I don't think he's going to be playing this with very much confidence. But we'll see. and doesn't want to hook his partner in the 2, whatever he does here. Now, Potman's tried safety shots in that first match and none of them worked out at all. He's tried another one, and this time he's made a better effort at it. Well, Larry can see the edge of the 1, and he can hit this soft enough to bank the 1 onto the bottom rail like that and get the cue ball up here. Now unfortunately Larry scratched, just hit it with a bit too much juice, but well, Bedhead and Potman have ball in hand, but really what can he do with it? Good angle in the 2, cue ball off the bottom rail, back up the table for the 3 into the same pocket. Let's see what Potman's doing. Just played it more or less plain ball, gets it on the 3. Now this shot needs to be firmly hit. A firm stun shot brings the cue ball back across. If he wants to, he can put a bit of bottom on it, maybe go that way and come back across, but either way, and again, you can see even where the cue ball finished there was just no way that that was going to go in, and no way the cue ball was going to be anywhere decent on the 5. So Potman is really struggling. Z Karaoke gets Larry on the 5. Larry's going to have to work as well here. Same idea though, cut the 5, cue ball off the right rail, left rail back into the table to get Z Karaoke on the 6. And it's going to run a bit far, but it's still a shot. It's a nasty little cut. And cue ball's obviously going to be nudging the 9. And that's well played, well controlled, and a nice angle in the 7 for Larry. You can certainly get the cue ball up onto this 8. It doesn't want to finish dead straight. He's left a little angle. You can certainly follow through, go that way and down, or you can come back the way Karaoke's done there, and well, it's a little bit awkward. And Larry's overcut it. That's what happens when you don't get that comfortable shot. And here's a gift for Bedhead and Potman to get off the mark. See, Karaoke just went a bit square on the 9. And there's always that doubt. So that's one that got away there for Larry and Z Karaoke. All about getting out of shape. The game is so easy when you can get in the right position with the right angle for the next ball. It looks so easy, but see when you get the wrong side or you don't get there, you're always, if you start getting out of shape in one shot, you'll get out of shape in the next one, and it just gets worse. Meanwhile, Bedhead and Potman broke off in rack number 3, came up dry. Z Karaoke potted a 1, but again didn't get Larry very good on the 2, leaving Larry pressure shots to try and keep a run going here. So that it's no doubt that Larry's by far the more experienced player in this team. He finds the gap. Potman, well, he's trying to create a little angle here on this 3 to come behind the 9 and over for the 4. He's played the big draw. Cue ball's running around the table. Long distance between the cue ball and the 4. And of course the 5 doesn't go past the 7. And this is where the problem starts, because the angle off the rail brings the cue ball across here, which is then blocked off by the 5 and by the 6 and the 9. So good luck to Bedhead to get on this 5. And that is a pretty good shot. Again, it's a slight cut back. And what matters most is can Potman sink the 5? He's probably seen 2 different 5 balls that he's looking at here. Well, he gets it, and more important, he gives his partner a shot in the 6. Now this is important. If they're going to make any impact in this survival match, they really need to take this rack out and get into the lead. And of course the 7 ball was Bedhead and Potman's money ball. They make the use of it, and they're now 2-1 up. And that 3 ball's going to go in. 5 ball goes in as well. And unfortunately, or maybe, well, no shot in the 1. The 1 doesn't cut. It's gone beyond the pocket. Just looking for a safety. And again, Potman, I think, has come up short. Has he? Well, there's more than enough of the 1 shown to pot that long into the bottom pocket. And that's running a bit strong. So once again, Larry's going to have to try and dig himself out of a problem here left by his partner. See Karaoke just getting a wee bit too much fire into the cue ball there. Now, there's a long distance between the 4 and the 9, but strictly speaking it is a combo. I don't think Larry will be playing for that though. If he hits the 7, this could be good. Well, it's not bad. It's given Z Karaoke a shot in the 4. Went to play it long to leave the 6 into the middle, but he's overcut it. So again, well, this is maybe going to be a shock result here. The danger is staring you right in the face here, Larry and Z Karaoke. 4 ball hanging over the bag. Well, Potman's been left with a long 6 here. It's actually not bad. He just stuns this straight in and just leave his partner long in the 7. It gives the cue ball plenty of room to get up for the 8. Well, That was not played with any confidence at all. The shot was a stun. Firmly punch it in. Cue ball comes across to the left slightly for the 7. And again, Potman absolutely the engineer in his team's downfall here if this goes pear-shaped. And again, Z Karaoke has overhit it. And Larry's been left with the damage to deal with. And this, well, it's far too close to cut, I think. Larry's looking at I don't know whether he's trying to play the bank, but there's a danger of a double kiss here as well. He's managed to avoid that. And I think, in all honesty, they'll accept that. It still means that Bedhead and Potman are going to have to work to get this rack. And it needs a good shot here from Bedhead. And probably could give himself 2 chances here and try the bank. And he's went for the straight out pot. No messing about. Playing with a bit more confidence than certainly Potman is. And Potman just needs to drop the 9 in it and they're going to be 3-1 up. Well, stranger things have happened in pool games. You've got one team easily beaten in the first round, and now they're threatening to beat the tournament favourites, and not really been that impressive. And it's not about how impressive you are, it's about winning the rack, and somehow or other Bedhead and Potman have actually got a 3-1 lead on the hill. Sorry, not on the hill, they need another 2, I'm forgetting, I think it was a race to 4. Well, there's the danger ball there. 9 ball, very adjacent to the pocket. Bedhead punching the one around the table. Is it going to run? No, it isn't. Well, one thing about that 9 ball, it makes the pocket much bigger. Can certainly run a ball off that 9 into the pocket as well. Z Karaoke and Larry are under pressure. Remember, Team 1 have the 7 ball as the extra money ball, so the more balls that Larry and Z Karaoke pot here, the more pressure they're under to follow through with the deal and run the rack. Because if they make a mistake now, it's going to be less problems for Potman and Bedhead. Balls are all wide open. Z Karaoke has got Larry on the 4. Now can Larry just drop through slightly and leave Z Karaoke for the 5 into the right middle? That's the pace he's playing it at. Now is that maybe too much of an angle? Let's have a look. Well, I think he can actually, well, he looks as if he's drawn off it. He's drawn off it. Little stop shot. And this should be one on the board now for Larry and his partner. All too easy now. So we've still got a match on here. Because of course Larry and Z Karaoke are going to break off in the next rack. I think the 4 balls get into the top right. Larry has got a shot in the 1. It's a nasty cut down the left hand side there, but the 1 ball has a pocket, and if he actually plays this bad enough, he might go in off the 8. Oh, well, you can't cheat the pocket that much. Misjudged it there. Difficult one. But it still means that Potman and Bedhead have got a chance. 3 balls in the left rail. But it is off the rail, it's not touching it, which makes it a lot easier to pot. And Potman, again, is really, really struggling. He's left that way short in the 2. Bedhead, I think, can still cut this in. He's played the bank, he's missed it. But Z Karaoke is going to have a tough shot in the 2. But again, it's one where you just play 100% concentration in the 2. You don't worry about the cue ball, because the cue ball will track itself off that right rail and back across. Provided it misses the 9, it should be sitting ideal on the 3. So this is just about a pocket pace shot, well played. Well, that's the worst place it could finish. That's really unlucky. And Larry's jacked up over the 6. And he's just going to try and punch this 3 in, maybe. Get the cue ball out. And he went full-blooded for it. Very difficult shot. But it still means that Potman and Bedhead can seal the deal here if they can string 2 or 3 balls together. They'll need to get the 3, the 5, the 6 and then the 7, and they've got this match in the bag. Now where's the cue ball finished? Oh dear. Well, nothing, absolutely nothing is going right for Potman. Most of it is self-inflicted. Because as I said earlier, last week he said straight away he had a few beers. I think he's had more than a few beers this week. The worst place he could finish is hooking his partner on the 5. But Bedhead's still going to jump the 9. And is Potman going to have anywhere near a shot in this 6? I don't think so. So now we're at the business end of the rack. And he should be coming off that side. Didn't get enough time. He should have come off the left hand side of that 6, very thin. Get the cue ball there and down here. As it is, well, it's partially safe. That 6 ball does go past the 8 though. It's tight, but it does go clean. See, Karaoke went for some sort of elaborate bank shot. It was nowhere near it. And I'm afraid this match, I'm going to say it, this match is over. Bedhead is certainly going to get Potman on the 7. So Potman just needs to roll in the 7. Where's the difficulty in this shot? And there we go, match. Oh, again, because Friday night 9 ball is a race to 4. I keep thinking the Monday night 9 ball Scotch double is a race to 4. It's a race to 5. My bad again. So it's 4-2 to Potman and Bedhead. Goodness knows how they managed to get there. Now, Larry and Z Karaoke, if there's anything I would say against the 2 of these guys, is that they are out and out 9 ball players. In this game, a lot of 9 ball players, when they see a ball and there's anywhere, any pocket where it could go into, generally they'll play a shot to try and pot it. There's always the likelihood that if you're far too attack minded, you're going to end up at some point setting something up for your opponents, and that can be their major downfall here. They've got a mountain to climb. They're trying to stay in the match, and they're going to end up just giving the match to their opponents if they get too aggressive. Sometimes a good safety shot yields much more bonus than just trying to track everything into a pocket. Well, Potman has left his partner absolutely nothing here again, and Bedhead can only play the safe. So Z lining up the kick, misses the kick, and now that could be a critical error. Potman now has ball in hand. He's got a simple enough shot to pot the 2 and just leave his partner on the 4. Partner more than likely gonna, well, he needs to get this cue ball off the rail. He's playing this 2-2 straight here. He needs to keep that cue ball away from the rail, and he's managed to do it. And now Bedhead can draw off the 4 over to the right. You can either leave the 5 long into the bottom left, or draw and stun across and leave Potman the 5 into the middle. And he's managed to do that. It's a wrong angle, but it's still an angle that can get Potman around the table. Now this is about controlling the pace again. Is he letting it run? Well, he needs to, again, not played with any confidence, leaving it at distance, but it's match ball. I think Bedhead will still be well confident in potting this. Oh, he's overcut it. Oh dear. Well, Larry and Z had both more or less packed their cue sticks away there, but they're still in it. An easy 8 and 9. So now they're just trailing by the 1, but more importantly, they've got the break in rack number 8. And I've got a couple of balls in the break. Unfortunately, one of them was a cue ball. And Potman is lining up a long 1-7 combo. What are the odds in this going in? He's missed it and left an easy starter. However, Larry has got no way to get Z Karaoke on this too. I don't think he can do anything here without hitting the 9 if he was going to run through. He's actually going to try and kick it in, and that's what he tried. Tried to kick it in to create the angle to get the cue ball up for the 2. It was a good try, good thinking, and it's relatively safe. Well, a bit too much left hand spin there by Bedhead. Now, can Z Karaoke pot this one? Not an easy one ball. He's got it, and this time he's got the pace. Pretty good. Got Larry on the 2. Now, can Larry just brush off the 3? Doesn't want to hit it too thick because he could push the 3 safe over to the 4. So he's going to try and draw off it. And that's why he's missed a 2. So Potman has to judge this one to get the cue ball out for the 3 and not hook his partner behind the 4. He's nudged it. He's got his partner on the 3. Well, surely this time they're going to put this match to bed. And the only thing Bedhead could do here is hook Potman behind the 6. And he's avoided any of that by just drawing off it. Well, again, Potman needs to push through in this. And around and out for the 6 into the left-hand middle. The angle's there to get the cue ball out. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know where he's trying to draw somewhere. In all honesty, I don't think he's really got a shot in mind here. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Yeah, he's leaving his partner the long 6. And Bedhead's got to draw back. And really should be drawn back with Botman left English to punch the cue ball. He needs to come back this way and punch the cue ball that way a bit. And that's what he's trying. And the spin is taking it to the right along the line. And that's not bad. Now that 7 ball is off the rail. So it should be easier to pot for Potman. So this for the match. And in it goes, and the favourites are gone. Larry and Z Karaoke go down by 5 racks to 3 against Bedhead and Potman. And that's what the handicapping system does for you. So, that result will come through in a second on the bracket, and that'll put Bedhead and Potman there. Meanwhile, we will join the match that is going on in round 2. Maybe they're just at the end of a rack. And maybe we're not going to be able to join this at all. Oh, the match is over, that's why. Wink at Me and Tommy You have won the match. Now, why is that showing Bedhead? I think it hasn't updated. Let's have a look at the bracket. Right, there's the result there. Wink at Me and Tommy You have won by 7 racks to 2. And has the bracket updated yet? So it's Wink at Me, Tommy You against Frankel and VP Monster. We've got one player in the room. I'll have a quick drink. Right, let's see where these players are. Now, I don't see Frankel unless he's rebooting. I don't see him there. I see VP Monster. Oh, Frankel has arrived, so he's here. And Wink at Me sitting there as well. So Potman And Bedhead are about to play G Money and WizKid in that one lost side. The Wink at Me, Tommy U versus Frankel and VP Monster. Now who's missing there? Frankel's still not in yet. Right, let's join the room and see if he'll get in. Now, Frankel is the player that we're waiting on arriving. Now, he should get an audio alert, or an audible alert, I should say, if he's sitting in the lobby, to let him know that his room is up. Now, you get 5 minutes to join a room once the room is up, and if you fail to join it, then your opponents are advanced to the next round. You forfeit the match. Well, here we are. He's eventually arrived. We're lagging off. Not a good lag on the right, much better lag on the left. So Franco wins the lag. So this time, again, race to 7. Now team 1, who's Wink at Me and Tommy U, they're getting the 8 ball as their extra money ball. And that is one of the balls that has gone down on the break. So the 8 ball has gone, the 5 ball has gone, so that means that Wink at Me and Tommy U have got to get the rest of these balls if they're going to win the rack. Well, looking at the ratings, Frankel and VP Monster are now the favourites for the tournament. And of course, that also means that they're going to be giving away the handicap to their opponents. Well, that's worked out okay. VP Monster rattled the 3 in the jaws, let the cue ball run through, and he's knocked the 3 in, but his partner's not got a shot in the 4. He managed to get the edge of it, and that's a good shot. Good safety. 9 foot of table between the cue ball and the 4 ball. Now is Wink at Me going to try and spin the cue ball off there, down here, and up behind the 7 and the 9. Of course, that's more than likely going to leave a jump shot for their opponents. And you're sending the 4 ball towards the right hand side. Well, he didn't get enough pace into it, left it well short. So it's a chance for VP Monster. Pot the 4, not needing to do a lot with the cue ball. Now, how does that angle look? Well, I played the draw shot. And VP Monster can, well, the simplest one's just to roll through. That'll leave his partner a simple enough 9 down the cushion. So 1-0 to VP Monster and Frankel. Three balls have gone in off the break there. And there is a shot in the 1, so we've lost the 2, the 3 and the 5, the 6, sorry. This time the 8 ball is on the table. But will Team 1 get a chance to even get to the 8 ball? Possibly not. Well, with that angle he can drop behind the 7, leave his partner playing it long into the top left hand corner as we look. He's drawing back to come out behind it. That'll still get the job done. VP Monster, pot the 7. Well, he's under hit that. But it's still a shot though. Bit of pressure on Frankel here. Plays it well, and the pace on the cue ball is perfect. So this for a 2-0 lead. Oh dear, I'm getting tired. It's getting to that time of night, folks. And we have a dry break. Well, that is a very acute angle to try and cut that into the middle. Probably, well, he went for it full-blooded and got on the 2. But that was asking a lot. It was only the pace that kept out the pocket there. A good jump. Where's the 9 ball going? The 9 ball is going in. That's where it's going. And all of a sudden, it's 3-0. Nothing this time. Well, no shot in the 2. Can certainly obviously push it to the left and try and use the 5 and 6 as cover. Well, he again went full-blooded for the cut in the 2, asking an awful lot to be able to do that. Oops, throwing my mouse away there. Just plug it back in. Right, get myself under control here. Things are falling apart in front of me here. Right. Oh dear, once I start yawning I can't stop. Body's in shutdown mode again. So in goes the 2. Now this is an important visit for Wink at Me and Tommy U. 3-0 down. They need to get themselves off the mark here. And this isn't a dead set to get on the 4. Going to need a bit of luck here, and he's found a gap, and that's pretty good. Controlled the pace well. So our Wink at Me and Tommy U going to get the use of this extra money ball. Well, straight away now, Tommy U's under pressure. He's got, ideally he needs to take this 6 ball long to make it easier to come off the side rail onto the 7. And he's done that, and that again has worked out very nice indeed. Other than the fact that it might be a bit straight. Let's have a look. I don't think there's any worries. He can stun and draw it just like that. And Tommy U, a fairly straightforward 8 ball, and that will get them off and running. Well, a couple of balls have gone in. This could be a very quick rack. We've got a 1-8 combo. Hold on to your hats. Now Tommy U needs to use his shot clock here. Take his time. Just settle until you're comfortable you're hitting this at the right angle and not too hard. And he played it perfect. So from 3-0 down, there's just 1 rack in it now. And that's making use of your money ball if you can get there. And the 1's going into the middle. There's a toughest shot for Wink at Me in the 2. I'm going to have to pull out a good one here to get on the 3. Very difficult shot. Likewise though, for VP Monster, he's going to have to do well here. An awful lot of obstacles in the way there, so he's riding his luck if he follows through in this 2 ball. And he's managed to get there. That little nudge off the 4 has done him a big favour. Oh dear, I think he's left himself. Has he? Oh no, the gap's there. Big enough gap to get past that 9. So Frankel and VP Monster, having been up 3-0, I saw the lead whittled down to just a 1 now. Can they re-establish a 2-rack lead? And they're giving themselves every chance. They're getting position. Perfect. Little draw off the 8 ball. Well, VP Monster saw it an entirely different way, and that is a big glaring error. Trying to make things complicated when there was a much more simple shot there. And they've got lucky though, I think. They have certainly got lucky. And so is Tommy U with that double kiss there. So this rack can go anywhere. Frankel, I think, is trying to come over behind the 9. He didn't give it enough juice. And I think Wink at Me, well, that I don't think is a dead set bank. He's maybe just going to try and feather this 8 ball and bring the cue ball back across. Now he doesn't want to be leaving a bank himself. If he plays it at a slow pace, he will. Going all out for the cut. Well, you've just got to choose the angle here and go for it. Now you need to watch the scratch as well in that top left hand corner pocket. Avoided that and missed the 8. And Tommy U has got to sink this because again the angle is fine to bring the cue ball over to the right. It's all about just judging the pace in the pot. It's not easy. Well, it was a very difficult shot, but it is a chance again for Frankel to open up this gap. So there we are. Frankel and VP Monster. Easy 9 ball. And back to a 4-2 lead. That relieves a little bit of the pressure. Haven't seen a 3-0 lead getting whittled away. And a couple of balls have gone in that top left hand corner pocket. One of them was the 7 and the other one was the 5. And that's a well judged draw shot there by Frankel. Big distance and played it perfect. Well, this would certainly stamp a wee bit authority on this match if they can break and run this rack and open up a 3-rack lead by the end of this rack if they can. Well, Frankel's played the draw. He's left a shot for VP Monster. A bit of a fiddly one to read here if he's just going to drop it into the right middle. Cue ball doesn't need to travel very far to get on the 6. He's played it into the top pocket and he's overcut it. So once again, Wink at Me has a chance. Now these are difficult, these shots. You just got to judge the pace. And he's underhit it slightly. But the path that the cue ball's going to take is perfect for the 8. There and then over here. So the deficit should be going again down to 1. Couple of balls have gone in, and that left hand middle pocket is a big pocket off the 4 ball for the 1, and they'd be on the 2 no problem. We just need to take the time here. And that's under hit again. If that had only run another 4 or 5 inches up the table, it would have been perfect. And it would have been much easier for Tommy Yu. And now he's got to run the cue ball around the table here to get a shot in the 4. And that is unlucky. Still a shot though. You can wink at me get the 4 and avoid hooking his partner on the 5. That 6 and 9 ball are in none too good a position at the moment. Well, wink at me couldn't get it done. Well, that 5's off the rail by quite a bit, so this isn't a setback. But Frankel again's played that excellently. Let's look at this 4. That's very tight. Very easy to just pop this onto the rail and back out. He's missed it completely trying to make the edge. And that could be a bad mistake. Fell short in the 6. Work to be done still. And that's a good pace. That's perfect. So this to tie the match up. 4 racks all. So the break off comes up dry. Franco comes to the table. We're tied at 4 racks all in this race to 7. wink at me. And Tommy, you are threatening to take the lead here. And it's all about getting off that 5 onto the 6. And he's taking his eye off it. He's hung the 5 up over the pocket. And there's a result come in. And Popman and Bedhead, well, the luck has run out. G Money and WizKid have beaten him by 5 racks to 3. Tommy, you and Bedhead go into the lead. Sorry, not Bedhead. Wink at me by 5 racks to 4. And again, the ball flew into the top right. I didn't catch it. 3 ball. Tommy, you has, well, let's have a look. Played it across the table. Excellent pot. His partner's going to have to pull out something similar here. Well, Franco's got an easy safety. He can send a 2 in behind the 5 and get the cue ball up there. I think he tried it the other way and put the cue ball up behind the 5. He's missed both. He's left it way short. Now that 2 ball is a very tight angle. And Tommy, you went for the 2-9 combo there. Wink at me's got a chance to stick the cue ball behind the 9. Let's have a look at what he's got. A wee bit too hard. 2 ball very tight to go past that 8. And very thin to cut into the right middle. Of course, Team 1, remember, they've got that 8 ball as the extra money ball if they get a chance. Franco goes to the bank, gets it, leaving his partner with the job of getting from the 4 back up to the 5. Where's the cue ball going? It's going to scratch. Well, here's another golden opportunity for Tommy U and wink at me. Pot the 5, get up for the 6, come back down for the 7, leave an angle in the 6. See what that looks like. That's too straight. You're going to have to force this with, well, top and right. Get it running, and it needs to go. He's left it short by quite a margin. Needed a bit more juice into that one. Oh dear. And again the cue ball is tracking to the pocket. Well, there's a lifeline for Franklin VP Monster. They've got to pot the 3 of these. But this to square the match again. So VP Monster breaking off in rack number 11. We're all square. In fact, VP Monster has passed it to his partner Frankel. And nothing happening for him. This time, I think that is just creeped out a little bit. Well, no, in fact, VP Monster can't see the one. It's very, very tight. He could easily spin round the 2 and hit the 1, no problem that way. Played a little jump, gone for the bank, gets it, but no shot in the 2. Once again, it's not a difficult shot. This you can easily play around the 8 and spin with right English into the back of the 2. But again, Frankel's dug out the jump cue. And again, an excellent jump. Gets the cut. Not only that, gives his partner a shot at the 3. Admittedly, it's a square cut. And needs to avoid that left-hand middle pocket. Well, he went for the bank instead. Told me you to use a lot of power to try and get that cue ball somewhere over to the right for the 4. Didn't work out, missed the pot. And we've got a 3-9 combo lined up. Well, he's played the billiard, and it goes. And VP Monster and Frankel go back into the lead. And they're on the hill, breaking off in rack number 12. Nothing down. Well, there is a bank on. And the one's left up. Easy enough to get on the two. It's a good one. Good angle to do it though. And a big draw with spin. And the spin is going a bit too much here. How does that look? Well, BP Monster can't get to the potting angle. And if he jumps to hit this 4, highly likely the cue ball's going to bounce off the table. So he's just punching the 4 up the table somewhere to try and get it safe, and that 5 ball hasn't helped. Seven ball is pretty tight to the rail. There's a few millimetres off the rail, but they've got to get there, and it's in an awkward place. It can only go into one pocket. Well, that angle that's been left on the 6 is good enough to bring the cue ball off the end rail and back to this direction to leave a shot at the 7. I'm going to be playing it from there, somewhere like that. Well, he didn't put the inside English on it. He's gone the other way. And Tommy Yu really should have been brave enough to play the right shot. He's now left his partner in a heap of trouble here. A difficult cut in the 7. And of course, Wink at Me and Tommy Yu just need the 7 and 8. And that was really asking an awful lot for him to get that. So their chance may be gone, but Frankel is going to have to travel the cue ball again. If he plays this 100%, he can certainly draw to the side rail and play this 8 into the same pocket as the 7. I don't know whether he can run through and do the same thing. Well, he's tried to play it into the other pocket. It was a good effort, but they've got lucky. They've got it safe. Well, that is a bank. It's also a cut down the rail again, but very, very difficult to play that. He's gone for it. This time though, Wink at Me has got a simple enough 7. Now the shot is bottom and right English to draw back, and the cue ball punches that way, but you don't want far too much on it, and he's played it well. Well, it's a wee bit short, but it's pretty good. And Tommy, you can just drop that in. Yeah, that will do it. We're all square. Hill match, final rack decider. And the ball has gone in. 9 ball is now the danger ball. It's sitting there waiting for somebody to play something onto the 9 from anywhere. Now wink at me. In all honesty there, he played the push out and he should have sunk the 9. And has obviously pushed back because he's now left no shot for their opponents. They're not going to play anything in the 1. So now Tommy U's in a pile of trouble here. But when you played that push out there, he really should have sank the 9 and got the 9 on the spot and took away that danger. And they may live to regret not getting rid of the 9 and getting it away from the pocket. Well, Tommy Yu got the hit in the 1, but the scratch, and we've got a ball in hand. Can he get that cue ball in behind the 1 to play it onto the 9? Let's have a look, and that's pretty perfect. Now he doesn't want to set this 1 to the 9 to the jaw. He's played it right. So Frankel and VP Monster win the match by 7 racks to 6. And let's have a look at the bracket, and we'll see that Frankel and VP Monster are on the hot seat, or in the hot seat. They're in the money, and they're now waiting on the result of the match between G Money and WizKid and Wink at Me and Tommy Yu for tonight's final. So G Money and WizKid are team 1. They're getting a 5 ball as the extra money ball. Wink at Me and Tommy Yu are going to have to sink them all to win a rack. No doubt that Tommy Yu and Wink at Me are out and out favourites for this match. WizKid pots a 7, but he's left his partner no shot at all on the 1. Can't get to the 1. Just going to have to try and kick it around the angles. Same thing here though. Wink at Me and Tommy Yu have to be wary that that 5 ball is very adjacent to the pocket. Just checking the little doodle thing still working. stopper and the cue ball here for the 9. Punch the 8 ball in. And then goes the 9. Wink at me, I think, to break off. He might pass turn, you never know. He's breaking off. Nothing doing again. And G Money's hung up the 1. Has he got cover? Yes, he has. Told me you're going to go for the long kick. And I think that looks pretty good. Is he going to get there? He's hit it. And he's left it safe. Can't ask for anything better than that if you miss the actual pot. Well, that's a good one from WizKid. That is a difficult one to dig themselves out of. He's not going to get to that direct. And I don't know whether he can make any angle off the rail. Let's have a look. Just playing the deliberate foul. Pretty confident that G Money and WizKid can't run out. But don't forget, they only need to get to the 5 ball. And that was not a good shot by WizKid. He's left his partner hung out to dry here. And this needs to be played with a bit of left English, I think. As he got there, that's a good shot. But once again, unlucky to finish behind a 4. An easy 4 ball to kick off the left rail. He's not even looked at it yet. I think he's lining up a jump. So Tommy, you and Wink at me. I've got an open shot in the 4 and a good angle to get the cue ball up for the 5. 6 over the right middle. The pace in the cue ball's perfect. Good evenings. Finally somebody speaks in the chat. 2 hours and 10 minutes into the stream. Now, this is a tough one. Queuing over the 8 ball. Got to either punch or draw this 7 ball. Try and get the cue ball up the table. Well, decided against that, but that's put Tommy you under a stack of pressure here on this 8 ball. And he's overcut it. And what's more, it's a shot for G Money. If he takes his time, just concentrate on the cut. The cue ball will do the rest. And he's overcut it. Well, this is still a bit tight, but he's leaving the high cut in the 9. Pretty confident that his partner can get this in. And it's away from the rail. And that was WizKid and G Money's chance to get a rack in the board in this match, and they might struggle to get a rack in the board, it has to be said. Pretty inexperienced players, those two. So, Johan, if you're still there, what's happening with this ETS gaming group map? Any news? Any secrets you can let me into? Is it any bigger than the Mario map? Has it got the automatic gates back in? What surprises have you got for us? I should mention for anybody else watching that we're talking about Euro Truck Simulator 2. We're not talking about pool. So Wink at Me and Tommy U, 2 racks to 0 up. Very difficult shot to try and hit that too. Now, ball in hand to WizKid. Is he going to try a long 2-9 combo? Can he get the cue ball in behind the 2 in that pocket? No, he's not even looking at it. Very difficult shot anyway. But WizKid not getting his partner on the 3, and this is where these guys are going to really struggle, because as I say, they are very inexperienced in terms of their ability. Well, there's a brilliant kick by G Money. We'll settle for that any day. Excellent. Well, WizKid might as well have a go as well, because that 4 ball, well, the 4 ball did go past the 7, sorry, the 8 and the 9. He didn't find the angle, but it's gone safe. And a good bank from Tommy U. Now I think Wink at Me can comfortably pot the 5. There's not a risk of the in off here. Can just trundle that 5 down the rail and leave the cue ball open on the 6. Tommy U, the safest shot would be a little draw off the 8. He could stun onto the right rail. Well, he's not really drawn it much at all. Left his partner upward, putting his partner under pressure here. Cut into a blind pocket, but he comfortably gets it, no problem. 3-0. And remember, it's a race to 5 on the 1 loss side. Oh dear, scratch. Well, 5 ball is safe, but it's a 1-9 combo for G Money, and they're off and running. Are you still watching this, Johan, by any chance? Or have you fallen asleep? Well, Wink at Me's got no way of getting to the 3, the 1 ball. 3 balls entirely blocked him in. Well, he seems to be convinced he can jump over the 3. It's very tight. But he's managed to do it. A good effort. WizKid gets the 1. But once again, very, very difficult to get anywhere near a shot on this too because of the 6. So just trying to get it kick safe, and it's not worked out. Oh, well, wink at me is going to have to dig out the jump stick again. Over the 4. Needs to watch he doesn't follow through and follow the 3 ball in if he pots it. Managed to avoid that. Where's the cue ball going? Well, scratched at the vital time. Ball in hand. WizKid just needs to roll the 5 in. 5 ball being the extra money ball. And there's just 1 rack in it. And that's the perils of giving a handicap, especially when it's a 5 ball and you scratch at exactly the wrong time. The time you don't want to do it is when the 5 ball is the next ball up. 3 balls going to go in. No shot for G Money. He could try a 1-7 combo. 5 ball right in the middle of the table. Well, he tried it and he's got it safe. He's got away with it. Good kick, but no joy. 1 ball in the open. WizKid's going to have to let the cue ball run. The 2 ball does go. How's his luck? Oh, well, there's a beautiful little kiss. Absolutely plumb perfect in the 2. And G Money's got more work to do though. Look at where the 4 is. It's stuck against the 9. And it doesn't go past the 9 anyway. So WizKid can see the edge of the 4, but really he's just going to have to hit and hope. This time, not so fortunate though. Well, folks, it's getting to that time, I'm afraid. Just as it's getting to the nitty-gritty in the tournament, but I have to pull the plug in a few minutes' time, I'm afraid. Beddy buys and work tomorrow. 10:30 is my cut-off time, and 4 AM is my wake-up time. I've got to get those few hours beauty sleep. I need it. My body's telling me that. And meanwhile, Tommy Yu has strung 1 up here. Now remember now, the 5 ball has gone. So G Money and WizKid, if they're going to take this rack, they're going to have to sink them all. That's not going to get there. Well, it's giving him a shot, but WizKid's going to have to pull out a good one. Absolutely no chance of getting on the 8. Going to have to go all out. And he's hung the 7 up. This is a bit awkward. It's a cut back. Not always a dead set, these ones. Comfortably in though, and it's now 4-2 to Tommy U and Wink at Me. And a good break. Where's the 8 ball going? It's gone out the way. Ball in the break as well, which was the 7. And an open table. So Tommy U just as a straightforward push in and a 2 and a roll through to go on the 3. Now, how does the 4 look? Well, the 4 does pass the 9, and it plenty of room past the 6. Now, can he get on it? He could even roll through and leave the 4 into the left middle as well. As he missed the 6, he's okay. That is perfect. And left a little angle on the 4 as well. Needs to force this through around the corner, which he's managed to do as he got there. No, he's left it short. So this is a crucial stage for Wink at Me, because the money ball is there, the 5 ball. He slams it in. Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear. Now, this could be interesting. He can't get to the 6. He's on the tip. He's angled. Managed to get the kick. And I would say that's pretty safe. I don't think he can cut that back. No, there's no way he's cutting that in. That's a bit pacey with the cue ball, and he's hung it up. So Wink at Me and Tommy, you really should run this out. Just get the cue ball over to the right. Leave a fairly straight 8 ball. And a little drop through onto the bottom rail and up for the 9. Well, he's not even going to manage to do that because he was straight enough that he could hold it. And the match is all over. Tommy U and Wink at Me, they have beaten WizKid and G Money by 5 racks to 2. And this isn't looking good. Oh no, VP Monster is there. So that's tonight's final. Frankel and VP Monster against Wink at Me and Tommy U. And Wink at Me and Tommy U are getting the 8 ball as their extra money ball. Well, VP Monster is in the lobby. I'm reading the chat, and Franco saying that he said he may not be back in time to play, so he's been called away. Well, after all the hard work getting to the final, there might not be a final, because the room is up and the clock is ticking. And like I mentioned earlier, if one of the players doesn't get into the room in time once that 5-minute countdown runs out, then it'll be a forfeited final. Which is a bit disappointing, but as I say, it's probably good for me because we're just approaching 10:30, and I think this is probably not the best time, but unfortunately, as I say, time restricts me from how long I can stay streaming. If it wasn't British summertime, I'd probably get a lot more of these tourney finals in. But this one right now doesn't look as if it's going to go ahead. All the players are in there waiting. There's just one missing. And VP Monster, I think he's awake. I might be imagining things. I thought I saw movement there. Right, it doesn't look as if it's happening, folks. So with that, I'm going to bid you a good night, and thanks for those that were watching. And obviously, if you have Virtual Pool 4, you can watch the final if it does take place. I'll say that. It doesn't look like it though. And if you don't, then if you Google Virtual Pool 4, that will take you to the VP4 website, and you can download the game and try it out as a free gratis player. You'll get a house queue, you'll get the garage as the room that you can play in, and you'll be able to play, I think it's 8 ball, 9 ball, and I can't remember what the other game is. And it costs you $10 to register for a year subscription, which will give you all the rooms, all the tables, and all the games. And it's still the best virtual pool game that there is on the market. It's still the best of them all. So it's worth trying. Right, so I will bid you good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again sometime.